All right, Paul Abiodun Fadumon, that's my name. And I'm the host. And Michael is going to be the guest today. So, Michael, please quickly introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you very much for this opportunity, and it's nice engaging this platform. I'm Olaogun Michael Sukomi by name. I'm a Nigerian, a proud one for that matter, irrespective of the image Nigeria may carry out there. I'm a proud Nigerian. I'm a youth advocate, I'm a pro-democracy fellow, and I'm a fellow of the Canvas Pan-African Youth Democracy. Thank you.
Thank you. That's brilliant. So I want us to go straight to the topic of today. We are going to be discussing corruption in Nigeria. So since it's a vast topic, we have decided to break it down into sections. So today we are going to be looking at just a little bit of introduction and some perspectives. So Michael, what's your own understanding, personal understanding of what corruption is as it relates to Nigeria?
Well, I think I would love to reference the TPIA, Transparency International, because I think their own definition of corruption is so simple that anyone, a layman, can actually comprehend. That the corruption is the abuse of public trust for private gain, or the abuse of entrusted power for personal gain. And when we talk of public power, it is not only in the public sector alone, it is not in government institutions alone, even in family, because when we look at it, the family is made up of a father, a mother, children, and whole lots of more. They are also public, they are part of the public. So when we look at it critically, it tells us more that even at the family level, the corruption can exist, at the local level, corruption can exist, at the national level, at the regional level, at the multinational level, corruption can exist. But corruption will only exist with the instrumentality of people. So it is only those who are willing or who chooses or who allow corruption to actually be their friends that will always go out there to unleash or to practice or to showcase the thing we call corruption. So corruption is actually broad and of course very simple to comprehend for anyone who chooses to understand it. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We've seen recently that there has been a series of probe happening at the National Assembly in Nigeria. And then there have been many actors, people dramatizing and some fainting. We've seen adults, throwing tantrums. We've seen people throwing words at themselves. We've seen people even castigating and throwing allegations.
Yeah.
Now, there's one particular one that's of interest to me, and that is the one that involves the Minister of NDDC. See, the Niger Delta is a place that is supposed to be so rich. I mean, so it's the richest region in Nigeria as far as Nigeria is concerned.
Yeah.
All right, but I've read and heard people saying that is perhaps the level of poverty in some of those places is enormous, right? So, so in fact, before we go to Akpabio, what's your perspective in terms of resources that is coming out of Niger Delta and what we are seeing currently in the probes that is going on at the National Assembly?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Just for clarity's sake and for the sake of audience out there, let me make this position known that corruption is as old as man. Corruption is as old as any society, even for Christians. And one, we can read characters in the Bible who equally engage in corruption. So irrespective of the religion you profess, without sound moral backup, you are only practicing your religion in futility. Just to make that clear to viewers out there. And with respect to issues in the Niger Delta is a region that I'm privileged to have visited over and over again. And the level of underdevelopment in that region is actually second to none. because I am directly involved in a project presently that involves field visitation, and I've had a lot of issues that locals, community members in that area are complaining of. But before we actually address this issue, they are actually the one that contributes in terms of earth resources. As far as the welfare of Nigeria is concerned today, the well-being of Nigeria is concerned in terms of economy, what Nigeria uses as the mainstay, the mainstay of our economy comes from that region. But so unfortunately, that the level of underdevelopment is alarming. And how has this happened? It's a two-way thing. The government actors in that, from that region, and of course the people from that region, they seem to have separated. The people are not asking questions as to what their welfare, the constitutional rights should be. Because once questions are not being asked, people will continue to feel like, okay, the political actors will just feel like it's normal since people are not asking questions, we can do whatever we like. But mind you, aside a monthly allocation that goes to all the states, the Niger Delta region also gets 13% of oil derivation. And if you ask ourselves this, what are they using all this money for over the years? Nigeria returned back to democracy in 1999, and shortly after that, we actually embraced oil. We neglected agriculture, so it is expected that the zone that donates or that contributes to the commonwealth of the nation should actually be living, should I say, better off than any other region in the country, because my state, Ekiti State, has no oil, so they don't benefit from the 13% oil derivation. But the political actors really actually show concern about the welfare of the people, and are people asking questions about budgetary allocation that goes to them? NDDC is just a minute institution, or let's say one of the MDAs we have in the country. But so unfortunately, so unfortunate rather, that they have not been performing optimally. And the NDDC, the Niger Delta Development Commission, was established solely to actually oversee or cater for the welfare of people in the Niger Delta region, aside the monthly allocation that goes to the state, and aside the 13% oil derivation. So the mismanagement of these resources over the years has promoted high level of underdevelopment. And if the needful is not done, of course, the region will continue to suffer this setback. But mind you, it's a two-way thing. The leaders and the led are involved in the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Now, I was going to, before I go to Akpabio, I think we are going to close this session with the Akpabio, perspective. But let me ask you this: if the level of corruption is so high, as we've seen, as relating to Niger Delta, how deeply rooted is corruption itself in the whole of Nigeria as a country?
That's a 1 million question, to be honest with you. If a very small, I use the word small because of the hundreds of MDAs, ministry, department, and agencies of government we have in the country. We are only seeing the book of NDDC today. What if the aviation industry, or if we open the book of aviation industry, the NNPC, if we open the education, if we open the Ministry of Works and all lots of others, and even the states? Nigeria is a very heterogeneous country, and to be honest with you, this has always been my position, that corruption in Nigeria has grown to the very heterogeneous state, that all the tribes or the micro unit of Nigeria also believes that, okay, if it is not our turn, if it is not our turn, we cannot benefit. So every people do all those things, all those shady things, to just ensure that they are involved. So corruption is as old as Nigeria, because those who negotiated the independence of Nigeria as well, do we actually know what went wrong, what they did? However, with due respect to them, because I was not in existence when Nigeria's independence was, let me say, negotiated. I'm always been mindful of using that word. We never fought for the independence, we negotiated for it. So the independence of Nigeria, do we actually know the foundation for which it was laid upon? So we need to ask a lot of historical questions. So, and there is a school of thought that believes that our colonial masters planted corruption in us as Nigerians. But I beg to differ a little because corruption is as old as the nature of man. So any society that chooses to be corrupt will be corrupt. And any society that chooses to be upright will be upright. However, corruption cannot be totally eradicated in any society, but it can be reduced to barest minimum. So in short, corruption is deeply rooted in the bone and marrow of this country. Thank you.
Michael, you said Nigeria's independence was never fought for, but negotiated.
Yeah.
Right, and you know, I have in plan that we will still have time to look at the root cause. You know, as far back as whenever we can trace it to. You know, doing
Of course.
thorough research in terms of how did all these things start. But based on this, could it be that, you know, the major reason why we are struggling where we are right now is because we never really fought, you know, we never fought for it. And it is believed that if you don't fight for something, there's tendency that you don't even know the value of it. You don't know its worth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's possible, this is just my perspective anyway, that
and of course it applies to all. If I give you something so freely, you just feel like, okay, I got it, or someone dashed me. You won't just take things very seriously. But what you suffer for, you'll definitely take it seriously and you'll be jealous of it.
True. That's a subject, I mean, a serious subject for another day. And I'm sure that we will have to go back to that to discussing the psychological, the political and economic part of the fact that we did not actually fight for our independence, that it was negotiated and kind of like was given to us. And, you know, and so perhaps we did not value it. We also look at, if possible, if we can, you know, lay our hands on documents that can, you know, help us understand the terms of the negotiation. You know, we would want to look at it and see the result or whatever it is that was agreed upon by our nationalists, the people who actually fought for our independence. You know, we are not trying to discredit them. You know, we just want to look at what is contained, because I believe that if there is a problem, that instead of looking at the peripheral, that we should actually dig deep into what is the cause of it. Where is it coming from? Maybe perhaps it's because of my profession, you know. So we don't just look at things. We don't just believe that anything is black and white. There's nothing black and white. There's always more to every individual. So I believe that there is more to the level of corruption or the endemic nature of corruption in Nigeria right now. There must be things that we probably don't understand yet. So, and on this platform, we will find time to dig deep and to bring them out. And I'm so happy that I have Michael here writing with me. Thank you so much, Michael. So now, in conclusion, do you think, I wrote something down when I was preparing for this, scapegoating versus example, all right? Scapegoating is the process or practice where you want to put the blame on somebody. Okay, you know, there have been so many things wrong, and then we want to figure out somebody, let's just blame let's blame it on this person. So in my opinion, I'm thinking perhaps the National Assembly is already feeling the heat that, okay, a lot of Nigerians are not complaining, you know, they are on Twitter, sorry. They are on Twitter, they are on Facebook, they are on the YouTube, you know, and making noise. You know, perhaps the heat is already getting to them. So they want to blame somebody for what is happening, the level of degradation or the level of mismanagement in NDDC and some other sectors of
MDAs, yeah.
Do you think they are trying to make a scapegoat out of Akpabio?
Let me say this, that in any society where we don't have institutions stronger than people, we always get a scenario as this. Let us make reference to what happened in Singapore and specifically in China about 2 or 3 years ago, where about about 90-something top government officials were killed because they were found to have actually delved into the public, the Commonwealth. So about the issue of Akpabio, the scapegoating, and of course the example, you know, Nigeria is such a very funny country that for me not to be involved in any matter, I then look for somebody that is next available that we can actually put blame on. You know, there's this saying in Yoruba language, and permit me to say it here, and here that Yoruba would say, that is, if any matter is happening, get involved in it so that they will actually not put the matter on your head. That's just the literary interpretation of that. What I'm saying in essence is, but you know, Akpabio actually alleged, it's an allegation, and he's been challenged to actually, should I say, make public the names of the members of the parliament of the National Assembly that got contract in the NDDC. So there is this defensive approach in us as Nigerians, and of course, it's a nature that is quite obvious in our leaders. For them not to be accused of anything, they look for the next person that they know it's available to actually put the blame on. There's this consciousness that I want Nigerians to have at the back of our mind, and it's common across any political climb. The government, the political actors, they have a way of telling people what they want to hear, not what they want the public to see or to know. So they tell us what they feel that we should hear, what is good to our hearing. But unfortunately, to be honest with you, the situation in the country is so alarming. It's not just happening today. The global environment studies also the political behavior of leaders before they make judgments on the citizens of the country. So I think we should we need to be very careful. We need to understand that our image as Nigerians, or rather our image as a country, is beaten and battered. And we just need to wake up from our slumber and redeem this image, as we continue to suffer the consequences, both politically and economically. Because what we are doing in Nigeria is not having, we are not living alone. We are equally dependent on other countries of the world. So we need to wake up from our slumber and just get it right for once. And we don't get it right now. The question is, when shall we get it right? Thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome. You see, I want to conclude. I want to conclude by saying what we need in Nigeria is not scapegoating. What we need is making an example of somebody, like it was
Absolutely.
done in Singapore.
In Singapore, yeah.
Like it was done in Singapore, such that an official, any official that is found to be corrupt, no matter how small it is, you will go to jail. That is what we need in Nigeria. We don't need scapegoating. Now, the question is, can we trust this caliber of leaders to be able to do justice?
No, it is
one of them.
It is practically almost impossible. I don't want to be too conclusive. It is almost impossible. Among the politicians we have in Nigeria today, of course, one can still say we have few numbers of them that are good, that of course their intention towards Nigeria is actually very good. But their number is very infinitesimal compared to those that we have. And this set of people will not emerge if some things are not done. One, putting punishment in place to serve as deterrent for those who are corrupt. But the funny thing about that is this: who are those to actually formulate these laws? They are the ones benefiting from our Commonwealth. So it is not difficult for me to pick a gun and fire at myself. It is practically impossible, except if one is insane. So who are those to legislate the law? Who are those to come up with the law, the policies that will actually check our excesses, or the excesses of our political leaders? And another thing is this: we need to make less attractive the benefits accrued to political offices. That is why they are killing themselves almost now and then, fighting, going to courts unnecessarily, because the benefits in those offices are too much. Just imagine governor, the security votes, the money that is not has no constitutional backup. They don't give account of it. The money that goes to them every month. I had opportunity of participating in a Transparency International program. Some of these governors get 800 million naira in a month, according to them, according to TPI, for security vote. Why won't they fight for it? Why won't those who don't have anything to offer not fight for it? Why won't they go extra mile? And another thing is this, the Singaporean example we need to cite. Singapore succeeded in building strong institutions that can outlast any leader. We need to come up with strong institutions in this country. The institutions we have are just there to actually serve political interest. That's why you see that if somebody emerges today as a president or as the governor, as anything, they abolish whatever policies of previous government and come up with their own because they just feel that that is irrelevant. And mind you, government is continuum. So we need to build strong institutions, strong civil service. If citizens' involvement in the governance environment of any society goes a long way. We citizens of Nigeria, we are too simple. We can only rant on social media. We can only shout outside there. We are not taking decisive actions in asking these people that they are telling them that they have mortgaged our lives, they have mortgaged the generations after us, that a lot of things are happening. So we just need to wake up from our slumber just for once and just get it right if we are ever ready and determined to get it right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you for having me.
This is very germane discussion, and we will continue from where we stopped today. And viewers, thank all our social media platforms. The name to look for is Opinion Sharers. All right. So thank you.
And questions can be sent. I think it would be nice if you also receive questions on this platform so that we get people's mind educated and informed. So it's actually going to be a good one. Thank you very much for this opportunity and for having me. I consider it a rare privilege. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. See you next time.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.